chirp, chirp tonight. The birds are talking tonight about you and me. The breeze is whispering, it's very hush, hush tonight. The breeze is whispering tonight about you and me. The stars are twinkling tonight. I've got an inkling something's up, and the clouds have nothing to do but look at me kissing you. The moon is shining, it's very bright, bright tonight. The moon is shining tonight, high up above. I guess the birds told the breeze told the stars told the clouds told the moon about you and me being in love. Do 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 do. They're very chirp, chirp tonight. The birds are talking tonight about you and me. The breeze is whispering, it's very hush, hush tonight. The breeze is whispering tonight about you and me. The stars are twinkling tonight. They've got an inkling something's up, and the clouds have nothing to do but look at me kissing you. The moon is shining, it's very bright, bright tonight. The moon is shining tonight, high up above. I guess the birds told the breeze told the stars told the clouds told the moon about you and me being in love. Do 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 do, being in love. Do do do, being in love. Do 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 do, being in love. Billy's Place, the vibe is light and breezy. Billy's Place, it's a virtual speakeasy. It's my home base. I'm glad that you stopped by. Time to grab a libation from the shelf. Have whatever you want, you gotta make it yourself. Sit back, relax, I'll watch your troubles fly. A musical trip, nothing complicated, and if you tip, that's appreciated. Good fellowship with no mask on our face. From apartment 5 right across the park, I'll be singing and swinging till it gets dark. Don't worry about finding a place to park, just park it at Billy's Place. At Billy's Place. Just park it at Billy's Place. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If it's Thursday night at 8, it must be Billy's Place. You're in the right place. I'm your host, Billy Stritch. This is the 3rd episode of Billy's Place, and I'm so glad that you stopped by. For the next hour or so, I'll be doing some songs hopefully that will gonna make you smile, make you forget your troubles a little bit. Some songs maybe you know, some songs maybe you don't know, but all lots of fun, and I'm gonna have a good time. I've had the best time this week putting together a show just for you tonight, so park it at Billy's Place. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so glad you're here with me tonight at Billy's Place. I have transformed my Midtown apartment, or at least a corner of it, into a home studio. And we add little elements every week. My producer, Doug, has added some wonderful things. We have another light on this side so you can see this side of my face. And we have a little sign up here. It's just fantastic. We've got some colored lights. I'm very impressed with the production, and I hope that you are too. I'm having the best time doing this. I have to say, I've been working harder on these shows than I've worked on shows in a long time, and certainly doing a different show every week is kind of amazing because you know, it forces me to think about songs I know, songs I used to do, songs I've never done before but always liked, and it's a challenge, and I am up to the challenge. I've been taking some great requests from some of you this past week, and so I'm going to honor a few of those tonight. But first of all, I want to tell you about the first song that I did. It's called "About You and Me," and it was written in 1949 by the woman that I am spotlighting tonight, the great Kay Thompson. Now, if you're not familiar with Kay Thompson, after the show is over, you must go Google her. But Kay Thompson's probably best known for the role that she played in the movie Funny Face, 1957. She played the magazine editor of Quality Magazine, Maggie Prescott, and she sang think pink when you shop for summer clothes. Think pink if you want that kale Cachot's. Red is dead, blue is through, green's obscene, brown's taboo. There is not the slightest excuse for plum or puce or chartreuse. Well, that's enough of that. That's quite a tongue twister. But in honor of Think Pink, our signature cocktail tonight is a delicious pink-colored Cosmopolitan, because there was probably nobody more cosmopolitan than Kay Thompson. I'm going to take a sip of this right now. Wow, that's really good. You know, you take 2 parts of vodka, you take 1 part of triple sec or Cointreau, you take a half a part of lime juice and a half a part of cranberry juice, and I like to add just a little dash of simple syrup and a little lime wedge, and shake it up till it's nice and icy cold. And ooh, I'm going to have another sip of that. It's so good. So we're honoring Kay Thompson tonight. Before we went on, Doug went to the bookshelf and grabbed this. I'm so glad he did, because you might also know that Kay Thompson wrote this classic book called Kay Thompson's Eloise, about the little girl who lived at the Plaza Hotel. And what makes this copy of it so special for me is that it was signed by Kay Thompson. For Billy Stritch himself, with love, Kay Thompson. She had such crazy writing, I can't tell what she wrote at the bottom, but it was Christmas 1993. The reason that I knew Kay Thompson is because if you followed me at all, you know that I've had a long association with Liza Minnelli, and Liza was Kay's godmother. And when I met Liza in 1991, I used to spend a lot of time at her house. And there'd be times when the phone would ring and Liza would be talking and she'd go, pick up the extension, it's Kay. And I would pick it up and I would just kind of eavesdrop. And it was the most magnificent voice. She sounded so youthful and so with it. And at the time she was probably 80 years old. You never would have known it on the phone. Anyway, Liza was very devoted to Kay. And she took care of Kay for many years. And about 92 or 93, it became clear that Kay was really not equipped to be living on her own anymore. And so Liza had moved her into her apartment on the east side. So we got to spend lots of wonderful times with Kay. She was a character, to say the least. She was really, truly a Renaissance woman. And she was well, you know what? I'm going to leave her behind. I'm going to come back to her later in the show. But right now I want to get to some requests from a lot of the people who have written in this week. First of all, speaking of 1992, I did an engagement at a fantastic nightclub back in 1992 called Rainbow and Stars. And if you're a New Yorker, if you've been here for a while, perhaps you remember that magical room. They don't make nightclubs like that anymore. It was on the 65th floor of Rockefeller Center, adjacent to the legendary Rainbow Room. And it was in business there for about 6 or 7 years. My good friend Bismarck Irving was the maitre d', and I did 2 engagements there. Rosie Clooney worked there, Lainey Kazan, Anne Hampton Calloway. Anybody you could imagine did shows there. And when I worked there in 1992, I did this song I'm going to do for you right now. The reason I'm doing it tonight is because a good friend of mine, Dennis Miller, wrote me this week and asked if I would do a song by Al Bowley. And I looked at that name, and I have to admit that I wasn't that familiar with the name Al Bowley. And so then I went to Google and I realized that I should have been familiar with him. He was a very, very famous, well-known guitarist and singer in Great Britain in the 30s, 40s, 50s. I don't know how long he lived actually, but I did some research and he had tons and tons of hit records. I'm sure all of you knew this, and I just wasn't familiar with him. But one of the songs that he had a hit with was this song that I did in that engagement at Rainbow and Stars. And what I did with the song, I love the song, but I thought maybe it needed a little extra. And I'm such a big fan of John Hendricks and Eddie Jefferson, all these guys who created vocalese arrangements where you take a jazz solo and you put words to it. So I did that with this song. The only trouble was I couldn't find a really great jazz solo, instrumental solo that went to this song. So I invented my own melody and then I put lyrics to it as if it were a vocalese. And so this is my version of a song written by Bernice Petkier. It's called Close Your Eyes. This is for Dennis. Close your eyes, put your head on my shoulder and sleep. Close your eyes, and I will close mine. Close your eyes, let's pretend that we're both counting sheep. Close your eyes, oh this is divine. Music play, something dreamy for dancing while we're here romancing. It's love's holiday, and love will be our guide. Close your eyes, when you open them, dear, I'll be near by your side. So won't you close your eyes? Close your eyes, pretty baby. Put your head on my shoulder. The air is getting colder, but you're warm in my arms. I'm glad I found you. Keep my arm around you. I see your face and my heart skips a beat. I'm in trouble and your smile is so sweet. Ooh, you knocked me right off my feet. Pretty baby, never knew that I could feel like this. You have me falling after just one kiss. On the radio's faraway station is playing Coleman's Body and Soul, dreamy and slow. Hear the tenor saxophone croon, and under a full moon, and you tell me softly how much you love me. You love me, I love you. Let this feeling last forever. Say you'll never leave my side, and if you're sleepy, close your eyes. Let the music hypnotize. Close your eyes and we can improvise. Something dreamy for dancing while we're here romancing. It's love's holiday, and love will be our guide. Close your eyes, when you open them, dear, I'll be near by your side. So baby, close your eyes. Baby, close your eyes. Baby, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Let this feeling last forever. Say you'll never leave my side. Close your eyes. Everybody got a drink? I know I do. Did you like that? That's for you, Dennis. My friend Liza liked that arrangement so much that 4 years later, I was co-producing an album for her called Gently, and she sang that. So if you're thinking maybe you've heard her before, it's because Liza recorded that very same arrangement on her album called Gently. Check it out. So I'm going to say this the first time tonight, and I'm probably going to say it a couple more times, but if you're enjoying the music, and I hope that you are, um, it's not required, and I understand everyone's going through a kind of a rough time right now, but if you're able to enjoy the music and chip in a little something, because as you know, and as I've said in the weeks prior, this is really the only thing I'm doing right now. There's no travel, there's no gigs out of town, so anything you can chip in to keep this show going every week, because I do love bringing it to you, and I love having a roof over my head as well. Uh, so there are two ways that you can donate directly to the cause. Uh, First, via Venmo at Billy-Stritch, and the other one is via PayPal, Billy at bstritch at yahoo.com. I don't even know my PayPal address. So Venmo at Billy-Stritch and PayPal bstritch at yahoo.com. So I'm going to mention that a few times, and if some of you want to throw that into the comments, that would be great. I really appreciate it. If you just joined me, my name is Billy Stritch. I'm glad you're here in Billy's place. Who do we have listening to us tonight? Oh, my friend Merrill Gelber is watching. How fantastic. Oh, God. All these people who I love, all these people who I love to hug, and I'm sending you all virtual hugs. My dear Bonnie Roseman from Palm Beach, Florida, who's such a fabulous clothes designer. She is the queen of accessories for women and for men. Check her out. Bill Westmoreland, he's the most fantastic photographer that there is. He's done all my publicity pictures and album covers, and if you have the new album that Linda Lavin just recorded, he did the cover for that. He is just the best there is. He's watching. Janet Thorpe is watching from Pennsylvania. Janet, now, thank you so much. Mark Sendroff, speaking of, oh, Mark, I'm about to do your request right now. Melissa Bailey, one of the swell girls from LA, is watching tonight. Oh my God, you guys are so fantastic. Okay, we're going to keep shouting those out as the night goes on. Mark Sendroff, who is everybody's favorite lawyer, and everybody's favorite person, I have to say. I would love him even if he wasn't a fabulous lawyer, but he just happens to be the finest entertainment lawyer there is in the city, if not the country, if not the world. He has helped so many of us in the cabaret and the Broadway and the pop world, recording world. I wouldn't make a move without him. He contacted me this past week with a very sweet note in support of this show that I'm doing, and he came up with some really fantastic requests. And I'm going to do one of these for you right now, Mark Sendroff. This is a song that was written by Carol Coates, and it's not done very much. It's a song that actually Carol Coates sent me back in the 80s, because when I was working with my group, Montgomery, Plant and Stritch, out in San Francisco, we used to work at the Plush Room quite a lot, and then later on we worked at the Venetian Room at the Fairmont Hotel, and Carol Coates was often in our audience. And so I remember him sending me this song, and this is a song also recorded by just a few other great singers. Among them, the recording that I went to this week to refresh myself about it was Nancy Wilson's recording. But then I remembered that my good friend Aisha DeHaas sang this in a show that we did together with our friend Carpathia Jenkins at Birdland a couple of years ago. Anyway, I'm going to sing this beautiful love song. It's called You'll See. You want no part of love, say you've no heart for love, but that's absurd, you'll break your word, I guarantee. When Mr. Cynical falls off that pinnacle, you'll see, you'll see. The band begins to play, our love is here to stay. You make it clear you'd rather hear, but not from me. Still, I know someday soon you're gonna change that tune. You'll see. Someday, some way, those feelings you fight will rise up and say that's all. So come on, give in, surrender and win. You haven't that far to fall. My arms are open wide. Why don't you step inside? You might as well, for time will tell it's meant to be. To lay it on the line, I'm gonna make you mine. You'll see. Those feelings you fight will rise up and say that's all. So come on, give in, surrender and win. You haven't that far to fall behind that smooth facade. Your heart is beating hard. Well, that's a start. And if you're smart, you'll set it free. For once your heart has wings, you won't believe the things you'll see with me. Like how this pal of mine became my Valentine. You will see. You'll see. That's by Carol Coates. You'll see, for everybody's friend, Mark Sendroff. Here's another song by Carol Coates and Peter Nero. This is my favorite song about New York. I've been doing this one for years. New York on Sunday, big city taking a nap. Slow down, it's Sunday, life's a ball, let it fall right in your lap. If you've got troubles, just take them out for a walk. They'll burst like bubbles in the fun of a Sunday in New York. You can spend time without spending a dime watching people watch people pass. And later you pause, and in one of the stores there's that bakes next to yours, and the glass to York. So you can take a short nautical break. There are boats by the lake for hire, and if it should storm, you make it on home, make it cozy and warm by a fire. By Monday morning, you're both agreed it was fate. As day comes dawning, if you can't pick a spot or set a date, you met on Sunday, New York on Sunday, so make it Sunday in New York, in New York. Sunday in New York, Carol Coates, Peter Nero, that's from 1961. It's from or 62 maybe. It's from a movie called Sunday in New York with Jane Fonda and Rod Taylor and Cliff Robertson. Who remembers that great old film? If you're just joining me, this is Billy Stritch. You're in Billy's place, and I'm so happy to be singing for you this Thursday night. This is the third week. I am in the middle of it, and I'm having such a fantastic time with my Cosmopolitan in honor of our spotlight performer tonight, the great Kay Thompson. We're going to do some more Kay Thompson material in just a little bit. Are we up to that yet? We might be. Oh yeah, I think we're coming back up. No, not quite. Okay, so sip of the drink. One more time. If you're having a good time and you're able to contribute something to help these shows keep going on, you can donate in two ways. Venmo at Billy-Stritch, or PayPal, bstritch@yahoo.com. And don't forget the second T in Stritch, like Elaine. So I appreciate each and every donation. It's certainly not required. I am loving singing for you, and I hope you're loving hearing what I have to offer you. Who else is watching us tonight, Doug? Oh my God, Denny Newton is watching. Okay, I know Denny from Facebook. Oh my God, oh, so many great people. Well, yes, they're all great. My dear friend Clea Blackhurst and her gal pal Andrea Prestinario. If you could see this, there's a picture of Clea and I right up here in the corner of your frame it's the album cover that we did several years ago for our Hoagie Carmichael album.
Bill Westmoreland.
Oh, Bill Westmoreland took the picture. That's right, Doug. Nicholas King is watching. Nicholas did a fantastic show with Mike Renzi, who is the most fantastic piano player there is. I have been a fan of Mike Renzi's for years and years. When I first heard him, I don't even know if Mike, if I ever told you this, the first time I heard you was playing for Mel Torme at a club down in Murray Hill called the Park 10. And I've loved you ever since, and that's got to be, I don't know, 35 years ago. Nicholas and Mike do a fantastic weekly show. I think that they did it last night. I think it's a weekly show, so check them out on Facebook and Instagram. Bill Hayes, the most fantastic percussionist in the world. I've traveled all over the world with Bill Hayes because he was in Liza's orchestra for so many years, and we've had lots of great experiences together. A couple of the songs coming up are going to remind you of that, Bill. Bill and Jackie are watching tonight. And from Palm Beach, our dear friends Steve and Ida Sorokov are watching, and I'm so thrilled to have you here. All of you are just dear, dear friends. This warms my heart so much. This and the drink, I think, are both warming my heart in equal measure. But all of you are music lovers, and you're in the right place because you are my audience. If you're enjoying the show right now and you can think of somebody or friends that you think might be into this, just hit that share button and share. Share. You know what I mean. Hit that button and share. Maybe they'll tune in and have a good time, and let them know that I'm here every Thursday night at 7 o'clock. So are you guys missing traveling like I am? I have to say that yesterday I did an online show with Linda Lavin, we've been doing Wednesday afternoon shows every Wednesday at 3. And Linda reminded me that this was our 70th day yesterday of being basically quarantined, certainly not going anywhere. Linda and I both traveled to New York City from different places, but we came back to New York on March the 12th, and neither one of us has gone anywhere since. So this is day 71. And I have to say, I've said this to friends of mine, I will never complain about schlepping to the airport and waiting in lines and getting on airplanes. The first chance that I get to do that, I'm going to be such a happy guy. But until then, I just have to sing about it. I'm sure you're missing traveling too. I know it's all going to come back, and we're all going to appreciate everything that comes back more than we have been in the past, I feel like. Not to pontificate on that, but this is just kind of a nice little time to kind of, take it back a little bit, reevaluate, reassess, and we'll all come back with a greater appreciation of the things that we've been missing these past couple of months. But for now, I'm going to sing some songs about traveling. This one was written by Matt Dennis and Tom Adair in 1941, and it was recorded first by Frank Sinatra, and then by so many others after that. I love Rosie Clooney's recording of this especially, and for that she added some special lyrics. And I even wrote a special third bridge, which I may tell you which one it is after that. But in the meantime, let's get away from it all, shall we? Shall we? Let's take a boat to Bermuda. Let's take a plane to St. Paul. Let's take a kayak to Quincy or Nyack. Let's get away from it all. Let's take a trip in a trailer. No need to come back at all. Let's take a powder to Boston for chowder. Let's get away from it all. We'll travel round from town to town. We'll visit every state. And I'll repeat, I love you sweet, in all the 48. This is an old song. Let's go again to Niagara. This time we'll look at the fall. Let's leave our hut, dear, get out of our rut, dear. Let's get away from it all. Let's keep going, shall we? Let's motor down to Miami. Let's climb the Grand Canyon wall. Let's catch a tuna way out in Laguna. Let's get away from it all. Let's travel south of the border. I'll find you a real Spanish shawl. Let's eat tamales in downtown Nogales. Let's get away from it all. We'll charter boats and airplanes too, to far off spots unknown. Then hurry there to find somewhere where we can be alone. Let's spend a weekend in Dixie and pick up that sweet southern drawl. Then off to Reno, but just to play Keno. Let's get away from it all. But we're not done yet. Let's keep going. Let's paddle over to Pompeii, have our own decline and fall, doing our doings right smack in the ruins. Let's get away from it all. Let's breeze to Buckingham Palace. We'll tell them we dropped by to call, and be socially busy with Philip and Lizzie. Let's get away from it all. We'll ski the slopes of Switzerland and sail the Isles of Greece. We'll dine and dance our way through France and make a stop in Nice. I wrote that part. All of Europe is waiting to greet us. Lots of good friends came to call. Then after our Roman, a home sweet home, and let's get away from it all. Let's get away from it all. Yes. That's fun to sing. See, that's one of those songs that I've loved forever and never done. And my friend Paul Jeremak requested that about 3 weeks ago. And so, Paul, that was a great idea. And now it's a song that I sing, or at least I sung. I think I'll keep that in the act if I ever have an act again. I might just be singing from here from now on. Nobody knows, but I'm happy knowing that you're all here listening. My friend Tammy Quinn McKillop, who I've known since way back in the 80s, the days we all used to hang out at a great place on the Upper West Side called Broadway Baby, with our friend Bill Graves and Annie Hughes and Kathy Babe Robinson and Natalie Douglas and so many, and Jimmy Lazar and so many great people back in the day. We used to watch the sun come up. We would go there. I was working with my group, Montgomery Plant and Stritch, at the Algonquin. We would finish our second show. We'd get changed. We'd go up to Broadway Baby. That's back when clubs were going. New York really used to be the city that never sleeps. It hasn't really been that way for a while. But the club would close at 4 o'clock, and then Timmy Gleason, who ran the place, would lock the door, and we would all hang out and sing for each other and drink even more and party. And Tammy was one of the people that was there, a regular, and she's been watching me each and every single week, and I love you for that. She requested this great song, and it fits into the travel motif. And it was written by George and Ira Gershwin, and it's from the 1937 film called A Damsel in Distress. I was a stranger in the city, out of touch with the people I knew. I had that feeling of self-pity. What to do, what to do, what to do. The outlook was decidedly blue. But as I walked through the foggy streets alone, it turned out to be the loveliest day I've known. A foggy day in London town had me low, had me down. I viewed the morning with alarm. The British Museum had lost its charm. How long, I wondered, could this thing last? But the age of miracles hadn't passed, for suddenly I saw you there, and in foggy London town the sun was shining everywhere. This thing last, but the age of miracles hadn't passed, for suddenly I saw And in foggy London town, the sun was shining everywhere. I do love that song by George and Ira Gershwin. That's for you, Tammy, and that's for all of you who miss London like I do. One of my favorite places. Arlene, I know you're missing London as well. So many of you, we're going to travel again. I really feel like we are. We're going to probably not have the best summer, but I think it's going to come back sooner than later. I'm hoping and praying. But until then, we keep going. One more time. Well, this is probably not the last time, but if you just joined me, my name is Billy Stritch. You're in Billy's Place. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I hope you've got a nice cocktail. Maybe you're on your second one by now. I'm enjoying my Cosmopolitan in honor of our spotlight artist tonight, Kay Thompson. Now I'm about to jump back into Kay Thompson's material right now, but before I do, I want to tell you that if you're enjoying yourself and you're having a good time, and if you're able to contribute something to the virtual tip jar, as you will, to help keep my show going every week, I certainly greatly appreciate that. There are two ways you can do it: via Venmo at Billy-Stritch and via PayPal at bstritch@yahoo.com. Do we have any other fun people that are watching us tonight?
Of course we do.
Oh, we good. That's Doug. That's Doug, my producer here. He's got them all written down here. Anyway, let's see who we have. Oh my God, he's gotten it all. Oh, Justin Squiggs Robinson is watching, who does such fabulous caricatures of all the Broadway and cabaret stars. Mark Ramsey, my dear buddy from Dallas, is watching. I think Mark's watched every single week, and he puts it up on the big screen at his house in Dallas, which I love. Okay, scroll down a little bit. Let's see. Doug's niece Jessica is watching. Steven Sorrentino is, oh, how great. My LA buddies, Michelle Browerman, a fabulous songwriter. I'm going to be doing some of her material in the weeks to come. Bill Pritchard is watching. I know you wrote me today and said you'd be watching. It was on your calendar, which I love. My niece Mandy is watching. That's fantastic. I love all of you for watching. And I'm going to continue now with some Kay Thompson material. Now, again, if you're not familiar with Kay, I have to tell you there's a fabulous book. It's the only book that will tell you everything you want to know about Kay. And it was written by my dear friend Sam Irvin. It's called Kay Thompson, From Bunnyface to Eloise. And those are the two touchstones that I already mentioned. But Kay, I have to tell you, spanned so many years in show business. She was born in Kansas City in 1909. That year is disputed by people, but Sam has pretty much verified that that was the year. She was a concert pianist. Her name was Catherine Fink. No wonder she changed it to Kay Thompson. But she was a concert pianist, and then she went to up to Chicago, and then to New York, where she was a big arranger and singer in radio. But she really found her niche in arranging for vocal choirs, as they called it back then. She had the Kay Thompson Singers, and she was like the equivalent of what jazz bands were doing with you know, that great new hot jazz that was coming in the 30s. She was doing the same thing with vocalists in the 30s. I mean, it was like I mean, just these great syllables and scatting things. And I mean, I listened to some of this stuff, and it's just the inventiveness, and it's still so hip today. So there's a companion piece to this book, a companion CD that Sam also produced. It's called Think Pink, and it's the music of, it's like 50 great songs by Kay Thompson. And
Sam is here tonight.
oh, Sam is watching tonight. Oh my God, fantastic. Sam is watching. Oh my God, Sam has a brand new book out today. Okay, Sam is great. Sam is a fantastic director. He's directed so many great funny movies, Hallmark movies, horror movies. I mean, Google, go to Internet Movie Database, Sam Irvin, Irvin. He's got the longest list of director credits, but also writing credits. And he just wrote this funny book. It's called Sam's Great Toilet Paper Caper. And it's a parody of like one of those children's little golden books. So it's a small book, but it's for grown-ups, and it's exactly about the times we're living in now. I mean, toilet paper caper. And it's available on Amazon starting today. It's $10. All the proceeds go to the World Health Organization's COVID foundations. It's $10 well spent. And it's got great illustrations, and I won't tell you any more about it, but it's wicked funny. It's kind of grown up, and you'll love it. But while you're at it, you want to order this copy of Sam Irvin's book about Kay Thompson, or get it on Kindle so that you can catch up and know everything. I actually wanted to reread it this week, and I didn't have time to go through it, but sometime I'm going to reread it. What I love about it the very, very most is that, you know, turn the page. I got the book when it came out a few years ago, and then I went to the very, very first page, and the very, very first sentence. And here's the very, very first sentence. The lights dimmed, pianist conductor Billy Stritch struck up the band, and that's me. And Liza Minnelli burst on stage with 4 boys singing Hello, Hello, the first of several songs from Kay Thompson and the Williams Brothers' 1947 breakthrough gig at Ciro's. First sentence I'm in. And it only gets better from there. So yes, Kay Thompson had this fantastic nightclub act at Ciro's in New York with the Williams Brothers. And what was great about that act was that she really reinvented the way nightclub acts had been done up to that point. I mean, there really weren't that many nightclub acts like we think of them today. But, you know, the singer would come in front of the band and stand in front of a microphone and just kind of stand still and sing. Well, Kay wanted to move and dance and sing, and she got these 4 fantastic brothers, Andy Williams, Dick Williams, Don Williams, and Bob Williams, and they had this fantastic 4-part family blend. And they moved and danced and went from here to there. And Kay hung the microphones from the ceiling so they wouldn't have to deal with microphones and cords and all of that. So she really revolutionized the way people thought about nightclub performing. And she was a big hit at Ciro's and then all the great nightclubs in New York and Chicago and everywhere for about 4 or 5 really hot years. And that was recreated, as I said in that first sentence, in a 2008 show called Liza's at the Palace, where Liza recreated, and the first act Liza was on stage just doing her own concert. The second act she recreated that nightclub act. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but it's all about Kay, and so it doesn't matter. In that show, the Williams Brothers were recreated by my good friends Jim Caruso, Cortez Alexander, Johnny Rogers, Tiger Martina, and then before Tiger came in, our dear buddy Clark Thorell was also one of the Williams Brothers, and we traveled around the world, did that show. We did it finally on Broadway. The show won a Tony, Liza won a Tony, and then we went to Las Vegas and recorded it for posterity, and you could actually buy the DVD and see that entire show. It was fantastic. Well, I don't have 4 guys with me, so I'm not going to be able to do any of those songs. But what I thought I would do for you is a few songs that Kay wrote or was associated with outside of the Williams Brothers. And this one, as luck would have it, still is on the subject of travel. So this is one from a 1946 film called No Love, No Leave. It was written by Kay with Ralph Blaine and Georgie Stahl, and it was sung in the movie by Pat Kirkland. Again, a song I've always loved, and I've never sung. And after I try to get all these words out, I may never sing it again because it is wordy. But this is called Love on a Greyhound Bus. Bought a ticket the other night. The Union Station was lit up bright. The crowds were shoving with all their might, but we all settled down for a trip in a Greyhound bus. That's us, heading west on a Greyhound bus. The Holland Tunnel was open wide. We rode along underneath the tide, found ourselves on the Jersey side. What a glorious night for a trip on a Greyhound bus. No fuss, heading west on a Greyhound bus. Stopped for hot dogs and soda pop. Asked the driver, how long till we make another stop? Soon the sun disappeared from view. Stars came out like they always do. Then I cuddled up close to you, and we both fell in love on a trip on a Greyhound bus. That's us, in love on a Greyhound bus. Harrisburg, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, on to Wheeling, West Virginia, then to Columbus, Ohio, Indianapolis, Indiana. Then we had a slight delay when the driver mistook Illinois for Iowa. A Texas storm made us hesitate. Bridge washed out and we had to wait, but we'd be happy in any state, 'cause we both fell in love on a trip on a Greyhound bus. That's us, in love on a Greyhound bus. Woo! Wonders never cease. Got to Reno, found a justice of the peace, and on that very day we were wed. Lots of happiness up ahead, but it was a honeymoon trip instead, 'cause we both fell in love. We both fell in love. We both fell in love on a Greyhound bus. Woo, that was a trip. In love on a Greyhound bus. Wait, that could get you in trouble these days, I have to say. You have to watch what you do on a bus. Isn't that a fun, nice, fun old song from 1946? Check out the recording from the movie if you can, because it's Pat Kirkwood singing, but then there's these great chorus of guys behind her, and of course the vocal arrangements by Kay Thompson. Kay did the great vocal arrangements for the Harvey Girls when Judy Garland sings, you know, back in Ohio, where I come from. This whole thing behind her, these guys, ooh. I mean, if you know the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you got to check it out. She did vocal arrangements for Good News, so many great films. She coached all these great singers at MGM like Frank Sinatra and Lena Horne and June Allison and Judy Garland and Mel Torme. She was really... Oh, I got all choked up because I'm loving talking about Kay. She really was the most fantastic vocal coach. And everybody wanted to study with her and take her advice, and she was friends with everybody. And then she had that great nightclub act. Then, one more sip that's going to get rid of the tickle in my throat. Okay. 1957. I love your funny face. Your sunny, funny face. Though you're a cutie with more than beauty, you've got a lot of personality for me. I'd swim the ocean wide just to have you by my side. Though you're no Mona Lisa, for worlds I'd not replace your sunny, funny face, 1953, great 57, I'm sorry, great film starring Audrey Hepburn and Fred Astaire and Kay Thompson as the aforementioned Maggie Prescott, the magazine editor. Great songs by George and Ira Gershwin, and then a few special songs in the film that were written by Roger Edens, who of course was Judy Garland's mentor, great pianist and arranger, did all of her special material, and Kay Thompson's best friend, Roger Edens. And Roger Edens and Leonard Gersh wrote these great special songs for the movie Funny Face. Of course, you've all seen this film, but if you haven't, again, you got your homework cut out for you. You got to read the book about Kay. You got to check out the movie. It's just the most dreamy, fantastic love story set in the 50s with all that great 50s color and style. It's about fashion. Richard Avedon did a lot of the sequences in it. It's just everything it's just where you want to live, I have to say. So, Audrey Hepburn is the young girl who works in a bookstore. She's very plain, if you can imagine Audrey Hepburn ever being plain. But Maggie Prescott is the magazine editor, Kay Thompson, and Fred Astaire is basically playing Richard Avedon, this great fashion photographer. And they happen to, I can't remember exactly how it happens, but they see this waif-like girl who's very bookish, working in a bookstore, and they decide that she's got to be the next big thing. She's so gorgeous, and of course they were right. So they convince her that she has to go with them to Paris to model the new clothes for Quality magazine. Well, it's not that much of a plot, but it's certainly a wonderful way to spend a couple of hours. And they fly to Paris, and they all decide that they're gonna, they're so exhausted when they get off the plane that they decide that they're just gonna go to the hotel and take a nap. I'll see you tomorrow. All that. Well, they all go their separate ways, and they all end up touring through Paris and singing this song together. Again, this is another song that I have never sung, but I did play it. Bill Hayes, you'll remember this. We had a fantastic month-long run in Paris at the Palais du Congrès with Liza and Charles Aznavour in 1991, in the fall of 1991. And Charles did the first half of the show, and then Liza did the second half of the show. And this was the song that Liza used to open her half. Well, this is the one that makes me the most nervous tonight. But I do love it, written by Roger Edens and Leonard Gersh. So we're still traveling now, right? Okay. Okay. I want to step out down the Champs-Élysées, from the Arch of Triumph to the Rue de la Paix. That's for me. Bonjour, Paris. I want to wander through the Saint-Honoré, do some window shopping in the Rue de la Paix. That's for me. Bonjour, Paris. I want to see the den of thinking men like Jean-Paul Sartre. I must philosophize with all those guys around Montmartre and Montparnasse. I'm strictly tourist, but I couldn't care less when they parlez-vous me. Then I gotta confess, that's for me. Bonjour, Paris. Light up the Latin Quarter, jazz up the Louvre Museum, to tell the richest and the poorest, here it comes, the great American tourist. This has got to be illegal, what I feel. Très gay, très chic, très magnifique, c'est moi, c'est vous, c'est grand, c'est tout. It's too good to be true. All the things you can do, you do things to my point. Or you can show me the north, and you can show me the south, and you can show me the west. Come on and show me the best. Is it real? Am I here? Am I here? Is it real? The living is easy, the living is high. All good Americans should come here to die. I'm strictly tourist, you can titter and jeer. All I want to sing is Lafayette, I am here on a spree. Bonjour, Paris. Bonjour. Bonjour, Paris from the 1957 film Funny Face. Ah, it's exhausting. Well, I'm going to take a sip of my drink because I think I worked for it and I earned it that time around. I'm not done with Kay Thompson yet, but if you're just joining us, my name is Billy Stritch, and you're just in time to catch the last few minutes of the show. I have a few songs to go. I'm not going anywhere yet. If you are able to contribute, which I would so appreciate, and we mentioned, oh look, oh my God, Doug is, every second he's coming up with new things. Look at this. This is so much better than my janky old sign, right? Okay, so wait, maybe let that go away. Look at this, how fancy. PayPal.
Actually, I can't see it.
Can you not see it?
Light.
Can you see it this way?
No,
Can you not see it at all? Oh, well, we'll work on that. We're going to get it on the screen directly. Oh, is it there?
There we go.
Oh, fantastic. PayPal at bstritch@yahoo.com and Venmo at Billy-Stritch. If you're able to contribute something, because I have to pay my producer. So to come up with things like that, we're adding lights, we're adding signs, we're doing fantastic things all the time, and we want to keep going every Thursday night.
That just got us in trouble.
Oh, did we get in trouble? What happened? Did we go off the air?
I don't know, a second.
I'm still talking because I'm pretending that we're still here.
So sorry we're having trouble playing this video.
Oh no, did we try to...
It's still going. Let's
Okay.
see.
Am I still going?
You're still going?
Oh, good. Well, as long as I'm still going. Doug's...
Okay.
Yeah, we're good? Okay, good.
I think it's good, yeah. Go ahead.
That's good. I mean, you're still seeing it on the playback, right?
I'm not here, but I'm seeing it here. Yeah.
You're seeing it on your phone. Great. So we must still be there. God, I hope so. If we're not still here, please somebody let me know. How are we going to let me know?
Good.
Call me? We're good. Okay, good. Oh, I tell you what, this whole thing with technology makes me nuts. There's so many things, you know, buttons you could press that could be the wrong thing. Last week we got off late because I pressed the wrong button and we were on the wrong page. I'm still, you know, fatootsed over that. But anyway, we're back on track. I'm going to sing, I'm not done with Kay Thompson, as I said. I'm going to do a song that was written by Kay when she had her nightclub act with Andy Williams and the Williams Brothers. This is a song, and she's recorded this. It's on that Think Pink collection. And it's got a lot of French phrases in it, so Jackie Sanders, please don't laugh at my bad French. This is called Quelle Joie. Quelle joie, quelle bliss, quelle fun, and kiss, kiss, kiss. Whoever thought that life could be like this? This is life, let's live. Quel jour, quelle nuit, and quelle adorable glee. Whoever thought that life could be, come see. Quelle hide and seek, quelle adorable cheek to cheek. Quelquefois, quelques fleurs, quelle vie, oh, c'est magnifique. Quelle heart's desire, quelle loony and quelle bonsoir. Whoever thought that life could be like this? Heavenly bliss, that life could be as wonderful as this. Quelle bouillabaisse, quelle adorable politesse. Quelquefois, quelques fleurs, quelle vie, oh, c'est merveilleux. Quelle that, quelle this, quelle remember and reminisce. Whoever thought that life could be like this? Heavenly bliss, that life could be as wonderful, so doggone wonderful, 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 that life could be as wonderful as this. Quelle joie by Kay Thompson. It's so funny singing that song because I know a lot of you know the way Kay sounds. I can't sing that song without trying to sound like a quelle bouillabaisse, quelle heavenly bliss, because she has that thing, and it's like the song doesn't work unless you actually like, you know, quelle bosse. Anyway, I have fun singing that. Who else is watching? Steve Doyle. Oh my God, our bass player from the Carlisle and from Birdland. And God, I miss you so much, Steve. God, I would kill to have you right behind me laying down the bass for me. My left hand has never been this tired. Dan Glosser from LA. Danny, I love that you're watching. Lamb, my Alex Lamb is watching. Alexandra Haas, I've known you forever. She's a fantastic singer and friend. One of my oldest and dearest friends. Oh my God, Katie Huffman is watching. Oh my God, Tony Award winning actress Katie Huffman, who, oh my God, you are so talented. And I love you from The Iron Chef too, I have to say. Katie won the Tony for playing, for the producers. Oh my God, so talented. Angela Beccari, fantastic voice teacher and dear friend of ours. And there's one more name. Oh, Alex Rybeck. I ran into Alex in the park yesterday with Jeff Harner. I was walking my two little dogs, and there was Jeff, and we were 6 feet apart, and there came Alex, and then Jeff said, let's take a picture. So we got in for a second and took a picture, and Jeff posted, and everybody's like, you're not 6 feet apart. We were all wearing masks, so it was good. Kevin Scullin. Oh my God, I've known Kevin since those plush room days back in San Francisco. And our dear friend Fern Copeland Burr from Fern and Shepard watching from Florida. So, oh my good buddies. Oh my God. I have to say, this is like so much fun because there's no way I would ever have all of you in the same room for a live show. I was doing an interview the other day and somebody asked me, you know, what's a positive thing? What are you learning about being in this time that we're in? And certainly in relation to these shows that I'm doing is like, you know, doing it this way, I'm able to bring my music to lots of friends and fans from all over the country and all over the world who don't normally get to New York very often, or I don't get to their city very much. I have dear friends in Texas, Sugar Land, Texas, where I'm from, who don't travel that much anymore, or just, you know, we only see each other maybe once every 2 or 3 years. And now you guys can watch me every week, and knowing that you're there is just a real treat for me. I'm going to sing just a few more songs for tonight. I'm glad you've hung in there with me because this is really fun. I'm having a really good time tonight. One last song about travel, and then we'll kind of start to wind everything up. But this is really one of my favorite songs, I have to say. It was written by Henry Mancini and Leslie Brickus. And I've been singing this song for quite a long time. I'd like to dedicate it tonight to my friend Linda Wells, who's watching, I hope, from Palm Springs. And also, I'd like to give a special shout out to Liam Ford and Carol J. Bufford. We did a show with our dear friend Barry Day, who I know is watching tonight, a few months ago, last year, down in Florida. And the two of them sang this song as a duet, and it was lovely. But I'm going to sing it. They're not here, so I'm going to sing it. This is a great song from truly one of my favorite movies, I have to say, of all time. And again, if you don't know the movie, it's called Two for the Road. Again, it's part of your homework. You got to check it out. Another Audrey Hepburn classic. If you're feeling fancy-free, come wander through the world with me, and any place we chance to be will be our rendezvous. Two for the road, we'll travel through the years years, collecting precious memories, selecting souvenirs, and living life the way we please. In summertime the sun will shine, in winter we'll drink summer wine, and every day that you are mine will be a lovely day. As long as love still wears a smile, I know that we'll be true for the road, and that's all. Travel through the years, collecting precious memories, selecting souvenirs, and living life the way we please. In summertime the sun will shine, in winter we'll drink summer wine, and every day that you are mine will be a lovely day. As long as love still wears a smile, I know that we'll be true for the road, and that's a long while, and that's a long Two for the Road, one of the most beautiful, beautiful movie themes ever. And it was Henry Mancini's favorite song out of all those gorgeous songs that he wrote. Maybe Monica, his daughter, and Greg, his son-in-law, are watching tonight. I know they can verify that fact. It just reminded me as I was singing it back in the 80s when I was working with my vocal group, Montgomery Plant and Stritch. We worked at in LA at the Cinegrill, and I forget how it came about, but we were invited to go to the home of Henry and Jenny Mancini. They were having a dinner party for a lot of friends, and we were invited to come in afterwards and come in and sing a couple of songs and meet people. It was really special. I wish I could remember actually how that came about. But we arrived a little bit early. Everybody was maybe about 20 people, but it was oh, fantastic Hollywood people. I remember Polly Bergen was there, and I just latched onto her, and we had the best time, and we were friends ever since. But at some point, we got up and sang some songs for the people. It was just after dinner. It was so casual and wonderful. I mean, casual. I remember sitting at the bar at the house, the Sunken Bar, and looking up, and just so perfectly lit and recessed in the wall were 20 Grammy Awards and 4 Academy Awards. That wasn't daunting at all. But Hank and Jenny could not have been nicer. And I sang, I don't know what possessed me and how I got the nerve, but I sang Two for the Road that night. And he was so complimentary. They both were. And he told me that night that it was really their favorite song. And it was kind of like their song. So I always think of that, and I think of them whenever I sing it. Eric Eve Garcia is watching tonight. fantastic singer and player. I just love him. Nikki Paraiso from La Mama is watching, and Mead Margulies is watching. And oh my God, it's 9:15. Doug is saying get off the stage. I am just rambling on. Well, I have 2 more songs, so I'm not getting off the stage yet. I have another quick dedication before I go, and before I just have to say I have dear friends who are watching tonight. Jenna Esposito Canarazzo, and her husband Jimmy are celebrating their 4th anniversary tonight. So I'm going to sing them a quick chorus of this song, and then I'll sing one more Kay Thompson song to send you off into the night. It's 9:15. Are you kidding? I've been doing this for an hour and 15 minutes. I can't shut up. What can I say? This is for you, Jenna and James. The more I read the papers, the less I comprehend the world and all its capers and how it all will end. Nothing seems to be lasting, but that isn't our affair. We've got something permanent, I mean in the way we care. 4 years tonight. They had their first date at Bemelman's Bar when I and Jim Caruso, Jim and I were singing, and they shared their first kiss that night. Happy anniversary. It's very clear your love is here to stay. Not for a year, but ever and a day. The radio and the telephone and the movies that we know may just be passing fancies, and in time may go. But oh my dear, our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. In time the Rockies may crumble, Gibraltar may tumble, they're only made of clay. But your love is here, it's very clear. Your love is here to stay. Thank you very much for watching tonight. One more time really quick. Venmo at Billy-Stritch, PayPal at bstritch@yahoo.com. Please write me this week. Let me know if you have any requests. Please follow me on Facebook. Please go to my Billy Stritch music page and like that, and you'll get every notification. Also, I'm just starting up a YouTube channel called Billy Stritch, and I've uploaded some of the past shows, and I will continue to do that. So go to YouTube, subscribe to that, and I'm going to kick you off tonight, or kick myself off, with one more Kay Thompson song from 1957. She wrote this with Ralph Blaine. If you've got that certain something, that's pizzazz, that extra kind of special something, that's pizzazz. If you've got enough of that wonderful stuff, let it sparkle and fizzle fast. It'll shimmer and glow and everybody will know, honey, you got pizzazz. If you got that smile that kills them, that's pizzazz, that extra special thing that thrills them. Pizzazz, honey, is what you has. You don't need beauty, you don't need brains, and all the rest of that jazz. Hang on to what you got, 'cause what you got is pizzazz. That's pizzazz. I can't do it without doing her voice. Oh, pizzazz. If you've got enough of that wonderful stuff, let it sparkle and fizzle fast. Honey, Honey, you got pizzazz. If you got that smile that kills 'em, that's pizzazz. That extra special thing that thrills 'em, pizzazz, honey, is what you have. You don't need money, you don't need friends, and all the rest of that jazz. Hang on to what you got, 'cause what you got. Hang on to what you got, 'cause what you got is pizzazz. Be sure and watch me next Thursday night at 8 o'clock, right here on Billy's Place. Honey, you got pizzazz. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.